Welcome to Bruised but Not Broken Teatime, a show examining women of the Bible and the lessons applicable to women of today. Grab your favorite cup of tea and let the spilling begin. With panelist Veronica Wormley, Nina Rose, Jermeen Porter, and Tasha Clopton. And now welcome your host of Bruised but Not Broken Teatime, Virginia Adams.
Welcome to another episode of Bruised but Not Broken Teatime, Biblical Study for Women. In our last episode, we discussed Rahab, harlot or Bausalina. In tonight's episode, we'll be discussing Sarah and Hagar, baby mama drama. Tonight we have with us our lovely panelists and our special guest, Miss Krista Lanier, owner of Keeping It Creative. Hello, ladies.
Hello.
Hey.
Hello.
Of Bruised but Not Broken. Hi.
Hello. Thank you for
right.
having me.
You're very welcome. All right. So, let's grab our teacups, and shortly we are going to allow the spilling to begin. Okay. Let's start with Veronica. Veronica, Genesis 12, 1 through 3 states that the Lord told Abraham, leave your country, your people, your father's household, and go to the land that I show you. I will make you into a great nation, and I will bless you. I will make your name great, and you will be a blessing. So Abraham goes home and tells his wife Sarai what God said. Now let's remember, the Lord appeared to Abraham and not you, Sarah. How do you feel about what Abraham has told you, knowing you can't get pregnant and you have to pack up and leave?
You know what? I have to say this from an experience of my own. I would have to say that I would pack my things up and follow my husband. The reason I say that is because when my husband was afforded an opportunity to further his career, I was given an opportunity at the very same time. And he chose to stand back and say, you know what? I'm gonna let you further yours. I can always move up. This is a really big opportunity for you. So I'm gonna follow you this time. It was no questions, no ifs, ands, no buts, no nothing. It was, this is an opportunity. This is something you want to do. Let's do it. So because he did it for me, I will definitely do it for him. I mean, he's not gonna make me personally, my husband's going to make sure that we're good. So I've never had an issue of him making a decision and it hinders our family. So if that's what he said, that's what he said. That's what we're going to do.
Okay. Thank you for that, Veronica. Jermeen, Genesis 12, 11 through 13 tells of a very odd situation between Sarah and Abraham. On their travels, they get forced to have to go to Egypt because of a famine. But as you're about to enter Egypt, Abraham stops and he says to you, I know that you are a beautiful woman. And when the Egyptians see you, they're going to say, that's his wife. And then they're going to kill me, but they're going to keep you alive. Say that you're my sister so that I'll be treated really good for your sake. All right, Jermaine. Let's take a sip from Sarah's cup. What's going on through your mind as you envision those words of being his sister and not his wife? And how have those words impacted how you now feel about your husband, Abraham?
I got a question.
Okay.
Do I have an insurance policy on him?
I don't think we had insurance policies then.
I don't think I'm wife material then. Let me see. Woo, these were some strong women back in the day. Oh Lord, can I be that strong today? Okay. I'm going to, let's say I love my husband. I love my husband. I love my husband and I like him enough to want to see him alive. Okay. I guess I will go ahead and be his sister. Now, as fine as I am, I ain't gonna guarantee it's gonna stay that way. But because the Bible said I was fine, so I'm fine, right? So
right, you fine.
I'm fine. So
that's why Pharaoh took you.
Now, did you say the Pharaoh took me?
The Pharaoh took you and put you in
Lord.
his hand.
I got the big head.
Wait. We getting too far. Girl, wait a minute. I'm spilling a little bit tea before it's time. Wait a minute. Let's stick on with this question. He didn't ask you to be his sister and not his wife. Look, we're going to stick with that one. Let's move it on back.
Okay, all right. I'm just saying now because he really staying up there nice now. Have a real big head. But I am going to, if I really, really like my husband like that, which I am not known for, I am going to, make sure he good. I'm gonna make sure he stay alive. That's fine. I like him like that.
Okay. But what do you think about the words he said to you? What do you think about him even asking you to say you his sister and not his wife?
You know what? I just think I think it's out of respect for me because he could have just not warned me. He could have not said anything. And we could have just went up in that situation and I wouldn't have known what to do. So I'm going to say that I'm glad that he prepared me for the situation so I know what we're getting into. So, I'm a roll with him. I'm a roll with him like that today.
Veronica, you got something to comment?
I got a question. So I know he told you. I get that part. My thing is, yes, I said I'm going to follow my husband because he's going to make sure we're okay. But when they treat you good, you come to get me or you going to leave me over here?
That's a good question.
Because, dude, I didn't say it. I didn't follow you. I didn't packed up my house. I'm following you with no problem. But then we get to where we're going and you say, you know what? If you don't tell them you my sister, they might kill me. But I want to live good.
Right, his wife.
Right.
If you
I want to live good. Exactly. But if you tell them you my sister, I'm going to live good. Okay, well, if you live good, that means I'm going to live good too, right? Because you're going to come get me. We're not going to be separate. I'm going to pretend I'm your sister, but you better make sure I'm good because I'm pretending I'm your sister. I'm going to make your life a living, you know what? Leave me over here on the side. We don't have problems.
But don't forget, though, you fine. But because you fine is all of that, they going to treat him good. You have value.
We talking about today, right?
No, we're talking about then.
We talking about then. She was fine. Sarah was fine.
But I'm still the today me. And I'm fine. And you fall off and you leave me over here. You might come amiss. You done left me over here. By myself. In a place I don't know nothing about. So now I gotta. That's what you for. That's why I got you to make sure I'm okay. No.
Okay, Veronica. All right, Veronica. Just as Abram said they would do, they took you and put you in Pharaoh's harem and treated Abraham just like the king he said he would be treated as. Now, some theologians say this is how Hagar came into the picture, that she was a gift from Pharaoh to Abraham when he was pretending to be Sarah's brother. Now, let's be real. Being in Pharaoh's harem means that he could call you at any time to come to his bed. Do you think you might be regretting the decision to go along with the lie and save Abraham now that you're in Pharaoh's harem? Come on,
didn't you just hear me say?
Yeah.
Ain't you supposed to make sure I'm okay? He still got his hands on me.
Are you regretting it? That's the question.
I can't say what I want to say right now.
Me neither.
I want to punch you in your face right now because it didn't work out in my favor, but it's working out for you. Didn't I say they treat you like can you come get me? And you still left me over here and the Pharaoh still got me? Never got the problem.
I'm gonna make it work in my favor.
Exactly. Since you let it happen, you didn't care. Because now you're being treated like a king, and I'm over here being treated like a yeah. I'm about to be passed around, basically, is what that is. And you okay with it because I don't know if you halfway told me the story. Because now I'm like, okay, now my brain is moving. Did you halfway tell me the story? Did you know this was going to happen? Or you honestly did not know? But as my husband and somebody that's supposed to love me and protect me, you need to figure out a way to get me from over here. And ask them, you know, can I? I don't know. You better figure it out because right now they think I'm your sister and they're about to see your wife. If you don't fix it.
Ladies, anybody, you got a comment on that? Would you like to answer that also?
What happened? What was the question? I'm sorry.
If anyone else had a comment, I think we're forgetting that as a woman of the time, she understood what that meant. Okay. She knew exactly what that meant. She understood what the consequences were going to be. It was a tough decision. She made it because she ain't want her husband to be killed. And he told a half-truth. They were half-siblings. It wasn't like he made it up. But he made a lie of omission by not telling the full truth. Yeah, that's my sister, but she also my wife. Right. I don't think personally his intention was to get at some groupies of sort. It was that his intention was just to protect his life. If that was the gravy on top of the potatoes, then that's what it was. I mean, I don't think that was his sole intent. He probably thought about it though, because he too understood what that meant.
That may not have been his intention, but as her husband, he still has an obligation to make sure that she is taken care of.
For sure. But you're also looking at a time where the patriarchy was, y'all still second class. So it's very difficult for us to envision that because, like you say, we went upside your head. Who are you talking to? No, I'm your wife. What you mean? Right. But in that space, in that time, she did what she had.
I don't think I would have, and I can ask that question all the time. Can I have made it in that time? No.
Yeah, exactly.
No.
Not built like that.
Being who I am now, no. I wouldn't have made it. They'd have stoned me. They'd have did something. They'd beat me. Something. Because I said something out my mouth that they'd been like, get your woman. She's very disrespectful. You're not going to disrespect me because I'm going to say what I want to say. I'm grown just like you. Yeah, I wouldn't have made it. They'd have killed me a long time ago.
Yeah. God knows where to leave us.
I would have been a really quiet widow.
Exactly.
With a new husband.
Not a widow.
and some goats and some slaves.
I hear you.
Okay. Crystal.
Yes.
If it had not been for the Lord inflicting serious diseases on Pharaoh and his household, because you were taken against your will. And after his encounter with God, he summons you and Abraham before him. And he asked Abraham, he said, why you tell me she was your sister? Why didn't you tell me she was your wife? Now take your wife and get out of Egypt. What do you feel about Pharaoh making it your fault, and now you're the villain? And to top it off, he kicked you out of Egypt.
I mean, if it was me in that time, well, it would probably, I need to say two different me's. The real young me in that time, and he would have kicked me out and made everything my fault, I would have really been going off on Abraham, because he didn't kick us out because of your lie.
Right,
you know,
right.
But the present me would probably take it on the chin, because we went up in there lying. We went up in there and we lied.
And
we lied. And plagues could have came upon them, because the Pharaoh could have got me. He could have got with me. And God could have did whatever to them, destroyed them behind that.
Right.
So I mean, we would have had to take it on the chin and just get on up out of there.
Yeah.
You know?
Like, I don't care. I wasn't supposed to be here no way. It's what
Yeah, we weren't supposed to be doing this no way.
We had a detour.
Yeah, I would have took it on the chin, the present me. But the younger me, when you're young, you don't want to hear stuff like that.
Right.
Yeah, and then you be looking for the person to blame. Like, oh, this is your fault. You should have never brought me here. You should have never brought me here. You should have never made me lie. While you out here living it up, now we both out.
So you're back in the famine, because that's the reason why you went to Egypt. Because of the famine.
Bring up something. I want to bring up something that's also in Genesis in 26. His son Isaac followed in the same footsteps as his father.
That is true. He made his wife lie too.
He said his wife Rebecca was his sister to the king of the Philistines.
Right. Yeah, seems like
and when he found out that was his sister, he was upset as well. And thought about how it would have brought guilt upon them from God.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know if that was that was like the first go-to thing back then. Or I'm gonna say she my sister, so won't nobody touch her.
But he would say,
that don't work.
He put Sarah in danger, because saying that she was his sister gave Pharaoh the go-ahead.
Right.
Call her to his bed if he wanted to, because he said, I took her for my wife. That means he had all the husbandly duties that if he wanted to just get into it, he could, because he took her as his wife. So to me, I think that Abraham should have said, well, they might take you and put you in Pharaoh's harem. I mean, give me the whole story. Don't give me half of it. Just like he didn't tell Pharaoh the whole truth about her being his half sister, his brother's daughter. I think, they had the same daddy. That's what it was. They had the same dad, and they had different moms, so they were considered half. But in telling that, you should have said that yes, she's, as Tasha said, my half sister, but she also my wife. That could have avoided a whole lot of stuff. Because I'm sure she had to been traumatized. I would have been petrified.
Yes.
And I would have been angry.
I would have been so uncomfortable. Anxiety would have took over me. For sure.
Since you allowed him to take me as his wife, I guess I'm no longer yours.
And knowing what I know now, I would be scared of the Pharaoh. I would be scared of the other wives in the harem. I would be scared of God. I would be scared. Okay.
There's too much going on.
Yeah, it was a lot going on. Tasha, girl, it's tea time. You've just been evicted, kicked out of a whole kingdom. But Abraham is safe and was treated like a king, just like he said he would be, after you lied to protect him. Now, I know we do things for our men, but when it goes left, and you get that, if it had not been for God, I would have been, God only knows. So let me ask you, one, how are you seeing Abraham now?
I'm upset. Much like Veronica alluded to, your job as my husband is to protect me. I feel like to some degree she understood what it could have meant. At the same time, like you were saying, Veronica, how are you going to protect me? See, if you had told the entire truth, both things could have been true. Mm-hmm. They going to take care of you because I'm your sister, but they also not going to defile me or mistreat you because I'm your wife. If he had just told the entire story. So now I'm salty because to some degree, I feel like, okay, I had to kind of go with what it is you're asking me to do. Like, what choice did she have? To go in there and be like, he lying.
Right.
You know what I mean? That would have went left.
That would have went way left.
So yeah. I'm upset. Obviously, they end up staying together. That is the, I think the lesson there is that's part of the ups and downs of marriage. You don't always know how your husband, your wife is going to react in a stressful situation. And they may react in a way that you didn't expect. Like, what? We going in fine. Even if I don't like it. So yeah, I'm salty. And now we, it's had this adverse effect. I ain't happy with you.
Okay, and two, do you feel deceived by Abraham for making you feel guilty about his safety, even though it appears he had full knowledge of what would happen to you? Remember, he told you what was going to happen if you didn't go along with this lie.
Mm-hmm. He said, they would kill me if you don't say I'm your sister. He failed to say, they gonna get at you though, ma'am. Be ready to put out, essentially, right? Right. Because you've been added to the list of wives. I struggle with that, and the reason I struggle with that is because a woman of her day kind of understood the customs. At the same time, he still wasn't clear about it. I still think it's primarily his responsibility. It's kind of like Adam and Eve, when God was like, Adam was like, yeah, she gave me this apple, this woman you gave me. And God was like, okay, but I gave you the instructions, so don't even try it. So ultimately, head of household was responsible and he was responsible.
Okay.
But he did not specifically say that they will take you. He said they might. Mm-hmm. If you don't, he said they might. You knew that they were going to do that. So now I'll punch you in your throat because you knew and didn't tell me.
He said they might kill me. He didn't address what they were going to do to her at all.
Right. He never said that.
Yeah, he never addressed her portion at all. But it was still a lie of omission. He was lying.
Right. So I'm still going to punch you in your throat. So now I'm questioning you as a husband because you knew and didn't tell me. Now, I'm your ride or die. I'm going to help you out. Make sure you're good. And that's just me. As the type of person that I am. I'll make sure you're good, depending on how far you're trying to take this.
Sure.
But you put me in danger knowingly. So now I'm questioning you as my spouse, because that was too easy. Mm-hmm. You did not try to come and save me. It was like, okay, well, Pharaoh took you, but I'm over here living like a king. And, I got me another one over here too. So you understand, right?
Right. Good luck over there.
No.
Remember, it was God who saved her.
Sure.
Remember, God who saved her, not Abraham. God was the one that made all the women sick in the palace.
I get that part, but I'm saying as my spouse, you knew, and you just went along with it because now you're living good. You forgot about me. And that's just what I see. Maybe I'm looking at it wrong. Maybe you ladies can help me out. But I'm looking at it as you left me. You're over here. You living it up. You living good. You living like a king. I'm over here being the Pharaoh's.
Yeah, you're not looking at it wrong. I think though, if we pull a lesson from it,
modern standpoint,
right? That's first. First, we're looking at it from a modern standpoint, so you got to be careful with that. But also, the lesson is God saves. When our leader jacks up the house, God be like, you know what? He is not doing. Hold on, let me jump in this, because it's exactly what he did. Because he was just gonna let it be, and God was like, Lord have mercy. So God, you know, as we follow the biblical lead, right? God will intervene when our head of household is acting crazy. Acting crazy.
Right. And that's the thing. So trying to only look at it from the aspect of that time is difficult for me, because I didn't live in that time. I can go off of what was said, but this time, today, is how that's the only way I know how to answer it, because I didn't live during that time. I understand what was said, how it was supposed to be done, what the rules and regulations were at that time. I'm not built for that time. I know that. So me today, I can only answer as me today, or me in my younger day. But back then, I know I'm not built for that. I will tell you up front right now, I'm not built to have lived in that time. I wouldn't have made it. My mouth is too smart. I'm gonna say something smart. We may end up fighting. They gonna kill me. Yeah.
I mean, so you might have it. You know, you might have tried to strategize with Abraham about it. You know, Sarah was a woman at that time, and they had to be like quiet and resilient, and you know, kind of do what they were told. You know, so you know, if she would have strategized with Abraham and you know came up with a better plan, they could have went in there differently, or you know something. But
I get that, but I'm still stuck on
like the example of the woman in the Bible who obeys her husband to a certain extent. Sarah is.
Yeah, that's the lesson. That's the lesson. Even though we wouldn't have dealt well with it. I mean, it's not different than when we say I couldn't have been a slave. No, they just would have shot you.
Right. You know,
and she knew she didn't want to die. So let me just figure out.
Right.
We are praying when God responded. I'm certain she was praying. As scared as we talked about she was praying. She was praying.
But we are missing one thing, ladies. Don't forget, none of us on this call, are as old as Sarah was at the time. So we're thinking with younger minds. All of us are thinking with younger minds. We got to think as she was what, dang near 90?
No,
she's like
80, like in her 60s, right?
In her 80s during that time.
In her 80s.
70s or 80s.
She's still in her 80s. Still, we're thinking with younger minds. We have to think of a woman that has lived this long. What has she already seen? What are her own experiences? She knows the laws of the land. So, you know, we got to think like a woman of her age. And that's one thing we can't think.
I agree with you, but then I struggle with, that was half their life. If the median age, although I want us to all live to 126, right? If the median age is 80, 90 for us, then that's is 40 for us more like we are.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Because Sarah died at 127. 127. Now, the one thing I did not see throughout this first part of Sarah and Hagar is that when they made decisions, neither one of them went to God. Now, God approached Abraham and sent him on a journey to make him a great man, many nations, and a great name. You would think that if there's a famine And my husband is telling me, well, if you say you my sister, they won't kill me and they'll be good to me because of you. See, I'm going to have to say, look, although your God, because she didn't know him, he didn't address himself having a name or any of that. Be like the one that sent us, the God that sent us out here. Ask him, can he provide us with some food so I ain't got to go up in here, because if I'm your sister, common sense says that if they take me, what's going to happen? So we need a better plan. Maybe you need to pray and ask God for some food and some water. Neither one of them prayed.
Yeah, I'm gonna pull a Karen on that. I'm gonna be like, can I speak to management? Can I speak to your God, please?
Yeah. So, do you have any comments, anything that you would like to comment on?
Like I said, I don't know if this is what a wife is. Oh,
Our struggles are different, but they're struggles. They
don't
look different
Yeah.
in this time, in this culture. Because that's another thing. This is our culture. There's some places we can't go today with our smart mouths and come back safe.
Right.
And then that's just one part of the story,
So-
you know.
Right.
yeah,
But
we
here's
can't go to Turkey. We can't go to Turkey. We'll be dead.
right.
Right,
But I
no.
can honestly say, so I know the whole thing is back in that time. I do know that we apply some of these things to current. Now, I can honestly say I've been in that situation, sort of. I was out with a person that I was dating, somebody that I was actually engaged to, and ran into this random person. I don't know who she was. I found out later. And the way I was introduced, and I think my mother remembers this, was, hey, how you doing? This is my cousin. I didn't open my mouth up. But I did look at him like, are you serious right now? And I
was on the phone. I was on the phone.
That's right. You were on the phone. And I literally looked like, are you serious right now? Wow. But I was polite and I spoke and I said, hey, how are you? How you doing? I looked at him. I walked away. So to not cause a scene. But that was the last day we was together, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
But you
Because
see how,
I was.
you see how you adjusted for what was happening in that moment? That's exactly.
But it wasn't for him. I can honestly say it was not for him. It was for me.
Exactly.
It was for me to not step outside of my body, not to protect him.
But that's my point. That's what she did. She knew that if I start getting rough and flip in this culture, in this time, I ain't gonna make it. So, she had no idea what it would be like many, many years in the future. But we adjust for things that we think like I would normally.
And I get that. And my adjustment wasn't, like I said, wasn't for him, it was for me. But I can tell you that in the process of you saying I'm your cousin,
your face,
I'm good.
Right.
Go ahead about your business.
That's right.
I'm your cousin.
But at least Sarah knew ahead of time that she was going to have to say she was his sister.
And the next day she went carry Underwood on his foot.
So Sarah had an option whether to say yay or nay. She chose to say yay because she loved her husband. It is so many Sarahs out here that love their husband and would do anything for him. Even lie, steal, and kill. But I don't know. Me in that situation, I may have been offended. Like, I'm your wife.
Exactly.
I'm not telling. No. What if he take me? I know you're scared you're gonna die, but maybe we shouldn't go there if you're scared like that. Maybe we need to go to the east and not to the west.
Now, I ain't gonna make no promises. If I get given to the Pharaoh, I ain't gonna promise you gonna get me back.
See, look, throw me into a better situation, I might stay there.
I'm not gonna make no promises. I'm eating good. I got a place to sleep. You ain't got no promises. I'm not cousin, now that you my brother, gonna get me back.
Ladies,
I might not be my wife material.
Yeah.
so you might not be right material.
Yeah.
I
I'm wife material, but I don't know how. Like I said, I don't know.
I'm gonna think I would have been like with my blueprints out. Like, look, Abraham, we gotta figure this out because we gotta strategize because we can't just go up in there talking about I'm your sister. Like, that's crazy. We don't know what's gonna happen.
Exactly.
But maybe she wasn't that kind of woman, you know.
She was pretty strong because she made him sleep.
She was pretty strong, but I mean,
next episode
We're gonna get to that part later.
Part 2.
Wait, and she was fine? Wait a minute. As fine as she was, baby, bye. I ain't promising I'm going back to him. And you old? No.
He's old and fine.
Wait, and Pharaoh made her his wife.
Abraham is old.
Exactly. And the Pharaoh made me
her
his
queen
wife.
of
So
Egypt.
since you didn't want me to be your wife and I'm your sister, I'm gonna continue to be your sister. I'm his wife. You living good, I'm living good. Hey, we made it. That's what you want.
Until the fragile male ego blurts out that that's really my wife. Now we both got stabbed.
But
Thanks
that's your fault for messing it up because we in this situation because of you. So
Now
you
we
decided
got
to mess it up
stabbed.
because we was both living good.
So I gotta ask this question. So does that mean that y'all gave up on the dreams of being one of the proud parents of the many nations? If you choosing to stay with Pharaoh, did you give up on the dream? Are you still?
He gave up on the dream when he started with the lie.
I'm not staying with Pharaoh. I don't want to be there. No way.
But he messed up the whole plan when we got the verdict to Egypt. You messed it up. We had a plan.
Well, that was his
But
plan.
that's what God told him to do.
That's what God told him to do. He didn't.
God told him to go to Egypt.
He messed up on the lie. God told him to go to
You
Egypt.
messed it up.
But God ain't tell him to lie.
You messed up the plan.
Well, here's
It
what I'm
wasn't playing.
Man, I will say,
You
will
put more time on it because you messed up the plan. Dude, we were supposed to just go do what we were supposed to do.
Well,
you didn't forget because you see that they're gonna make you something else that you honestly are not. You ain't a king, but they treated you like one. But in the process of them treating you like a king, they done made me a damn concubine, and now I'm his wife. Now I got 2 husbands.
But that might have been God's whole plan because think about it. Even though Abram got kicked out of Egypt, he didn't get kicked out empty-handed.
That's right. He gave him everything.
He got to go with everything, you know, and he was able to go and build from there.
I know everything happens for everything happens for a reason. I get that part. Everything happens for a reason, and that was and it's true because you will go through some things to get to where you are. I can honestly say that situation with me being called a cousin, it kind of set some other things in motion. And I can tell you from every relationship that I've been in with the situations that have happened in those relationships, got me back to somebody that I should have honestly been with 20 years ago. So everything happens for a reason, and you have life lessons that you have to learn along the way. So I guess that was their life lesson. They still were able to get what was promised to them. It was just done a different way.
But don't forget this. Don't forget how they got there. They got there. Okay. It's Sunday. You've been in church all day. And you know, ain't no hungry in the world like that after church hungry. Now, they had to go through a famine. It's a famine, and Egypt is the first food you can get to. Where you going? To Egypt.
Yep.
So it wasn't just a detour. You was hungry.
Mm-hmm.
So So
what I'm grateful for is that when God has a plan for us, He includes our screw ups because we gonna screw up.
Yeah.
We are going to screw up. And so he accounts for that. He allows for that and still plucks us. I told y'all before on prior episodes, I envision God picking me up and going, no, daughter, I said this. Often.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's me. I know I'm finna do something stupid. I'm on my way and I'm gonna be stupid on purpose, and then I can't find my keys. Where did my keys go? God knew I was finna do something stupid and hid my keys.
Yeah.
Always.
Or you go outside like, oh, my tire flat. So yeah, it's he knows what you're gonna do before it's done. I get it. I'm still on the fence, but I get it.
Actually stopped Pharaoh from touching Sarah.
That's right.
Yep.
So he protected her past Abraham's self survival.
Yeah.
Abraham was in self-survival mode. He wanted to live to see another day. So in order to help me do this, you know, you may have to sleep with the Pharaoh if that happens, but at least we'll both be alive. As sad as that is, when you look at it, that's how it breaks down.
Yeah.
I mean,
There's a whole lot of side eye with that.
and God said, well, okay, you done put her in this situation, and that's how you feel. I'm going to stop this. Let me stop this before this goes too far.
Right.
I mean, I think Abram, from what I read, he seemed like a faithful man, right?
He was.
But he didn't seem very wise. You know,
He's human.
He's very human.
We're all human.
Human.
We all human, you know? And sometimes, you know, you got humans who don't think about things critically and some humans who do. And he might not have been a critical thinker, you know? He might have been impulsive. Oh, God said do this, do like this, and not even think. Look at,
they were new to a country. He didn't have an army. These Egyptians were known for taking what they wanted. Yeah. They had soldiers and horses. Look how they did the Israelites years later. They could be a vicious people. So I could understand Abraham wanting to think about himself and say, I want to live, but we can get through this. I'll even help you through this mentally. I'm sorry, we got to do this, but this is our only option. But I think that the option for them would have been to include God. The Abrahams and Sarahs of the world today, they need to include God. God was the one to put you on your path. So while on your path and the enemy attacks you and throws darts at you, you know, don't throw one to the woods while you say, well, you'll get bit up a little bit, but at least we won't be dead. Just give them a bite out your leg. We'll be all right. You'll heal. You know, we have to put God first and say, let me go and consult with the Lord and see if this is what he would have us to do. Because it seems to me they forgot that they were on a journey that God himself placed them on. So when they ended up on the left side of the fence of where he wanted to do, he personally went into Pharaoh's dreams and said, don't touch her.
Right. And that's because they lost sight of what they were supposed to be doing, because somebody dangled something really pretty and shiny in front of their face.
Jermaine said it. They were hungry.
Right.
So
since I don't have to be hungry anymore, I'm gonna go ahead and this is what you want to do. This is what we're gonna do. And then they lost sight of it because I have all the food I want. I ain't gonna be hungry no more. Let's just stay here.
They're gonna be good to me because of you being my sister. It almost sounds like a scheme. If you say you're my sister, they're gonna give me a whole bunch of stuff.
Right, and that's still my thing. They're gonna give you a whole bunch of stuff, and they're gonna take me over here. I don't see that. I don't see how we're equal.
Abraham had another plan. We don't know. Maybe I don't.
And that's the point. Like I'm like
I think he was just scared and didn't want to die.
You know how they're gonna treat you. You know for a fact that they're gonna take me, but I'm gonna be living good. You didn't know that the Pharaoh was gonna make me his wife. All you knew was she gonna be one of his concubines, and that's just what it's gonna be.
I don't
So,
know. Like,
So what was the plan? Was we just supposed to eat for a little while till we got our strength back to get back on the road? Was that the plan?
I'm assuming that was supposed to be the plan. But the plan changed because, hey, it looked real nice here. I know we on a mission, but it looked nice here. They gonna treat me real good. They gonna treat me like a
Is that
king.
what happened? He just was hanging in Egypt like, this good. I got my
That's what I get from it.
Food and I'm good.
That's what I get from it, because you forgot the whole mission.
I know Sarah over there with the Pharaoh, but I'm chill for a couple more days.
Sarah
like, what was going on?
Hoping Pharaoh don't call her.
Right. Like, please don't call me. Please don't call me. I don't want. Please don't call me. But you all,
God stepped in. You know, he stepped in and overlooked Abraham's inspiration for life.
Yeah.
And I think Abraham unknowingly put his wife into danger. And so I just thank God that God was there to save her, because it tells us today that when us being Sarah's in our different situations, and we do whatever we're going to do for Abraham and just follow him and say, yeah, I'll do it, and then end up in trouble, we know that God is there to protect us, because sometimes we can go and love can be blind. I believe she loved her husband so much that she didn't want to see anything happen to him. So she felt like, I'm going to protect him, I'm going to do this. And I'm sure she did not think that she would end up in the Pharaoh's harem. She might have even thought that, okay, I'm his sister, they might flirt a little bit, you know what I'm saying, let us go, we move on, get us some bread, some meat, and we passing on through. But she ends up in the harem, and God had to save her.
It's likely what he
thought. Right, because he got comfortable. That's what I'm saying.
He likely thought that too. We just kind of alluded to he might not have been the most critical thinker. So
right.
Let's just chance it. You know, we ain't gonna be here long enough for them to, and then they were.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Right. He did not.
Oh, I like living like this. Let's just stay a little bit longer.
Well, okay, ladies, we want to get into part 2, and we want to find out what happened to Hagar, because Hagar ends up in a situation that she should not have been placed in. So we're going to talk about that in part 2. Now, Sarah quickly followed Abraham, and she had to believe in her whole heart that she would truly have children one day. Even though at the time of God's promise to Abraham, she was incapable of having children. God promised that together they would be the proud parents of many, many nations. And in following her husband and his plans, she did not foresee famine or having to lie to save her husband. And she certainly did not see being taken captive and placed in Pharaoh's harem.
This is what I do. Deliver me, 'cause all I seem to do is hurt me. Hurt me. deliver me. 'Cause all I seem to do is keep on making the same mistake. But God, I need you to deliver me. Hey, 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 hey. Lord, deliver me. All I seem to do is hurry, hurry. Anybody ever hurt me? And this is what we cry. We say, oh, please. You know it's all right to say that from time to time. Deliver me. Come on, help me. Help me say it. Please, God, deliver me. Lord, we need you right now. Deliver me. On my way to my seat, 3 minutes. I want everybody to understand one thing, that He is the giver of life. And if y'all ready for your exodus, you ought to lift your hands right here, right now. Because on my way to my seat, we're getting ready to shout this. Y'all ready? This is my exodus. Hey! This is my exodus. I'm saying goodbye to the old me. Yeah. And I'm saying hello to the brand new me. God bless you. I love you.
Well, we've come to the end of part 1. Now come on back, click on part 2 so you can continue to hear what the ladies have to say about this biblical woman of discussion.
The host and panelist of Bruised but Not Broken Teatime do not proclaim to be Bible theologians. Rather, they are a group of Christian women seeking to examine the actions of women from the Bible and offer personal perspectives on how these situations apply to women today.
Bruised but not broken, battered not worn. We've been through it all, but we weather the storm. It's all about women empowering us all. We've been through so much, we've taken much more. Women together, much stronger and more. Yeah. Bruised but not broken, battered not worn. We've been through it all, but we weather the storm. It's all about women empowering us all. We've been through so much, we've taken much more. Women together, much stronger and more.